had to use the BRICS nations to damn the dollar back to the United States because they're going to have to either reduce the inflation rate because the currency is diminishing, or they're going to hyperinflate, right? Because the currency is losing value. So it got two ways they can play it. Start relieving the pressure off the dollar by backing back prices, or over saturate the value of the dollar by artificial means, which creates an increase in prices, right? So the deep state, the ones who was in control that's fighting on their way out, they're not going to stop fighting until they gone. So you're going to see activated sleeper cells and all that until they're done. Right? And they got to find a Jason Bourne sleeper, because the Jason Bourne sleeper is the only one that can peacefully wake up the rest of the sleepers so they don't follow the protocol. And the government got a good idea of where that agent is. Or they might even have them in custody. But the purpose is to activate or to awaken the sleeper cells without them being activated to commit atrocious acts. Right? So they've been running tribunals in Gitmo. And remember, they just opened up Alligator Alcatraz in Florida. Those are for international criminals. Remember, the Russian sub came into the Cuban Bay. They was dropping prisoners off. Remember we were talking about that about 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And they was dropping prisoners off, and everybody thought it was going to be some kind of hostilities between America and Russia, but they working together. Right? They was working together to catch the whole deep state operation. Because Russia tired of being smeared over here and used as the boogeyman to manipulate the people. So they were willing to work with Donald Trump and the military to change their image in the eyes of America, but first they can't change it too fast. The whole operation got to be ran first, where they work together in order to save Earth from an imminent threat from other places.
Right.
That goes all the way back to Ronald Reagan's Union speech on Operation Star Wars.
Right.
Right? The only thing that's going to bring us together is the threat from somebody from outer space. That'll stop us. We put our petty differences aside at a moment's notice from an inside threat, right? So it's not new. None of it's new. But again, it's not a prophecy, it's a plan. Right? Bush told you their plans was to 1,000 points of light. That's 1,000 points they was using to contain the Earth. So then that tell us that we have to find 1,000 points of chaos to operate from in order to disrupt 1,000 points of light. But we ain't supposed to use chaos. They don't want us to use chaos. They want us to think it's the most violent, wicked thing that we can use is the chaos. But we need the chaos because everything came out of the chaos, the dark matter, the Shakti. Right? So they use those patterns cyclic over and over again. And that's because they don't know how to come up with nothing new on their own, so they keep doing the same thing they already know. Roll Cornell.
I got you. It's a short. The last one, couple ones was real short. Just confirmed it too. Just confirmed that hey, they gonna try to do chaos as they go out. It's the walls are closing in on them. Another
that's what they commonly call that a false flag, but it's not a false event. It's just that the narrative wrapped around it is control the collective consciousness that make it a false flag.
Right.
They will let 1,000 people die for their agenda to be pushed forward. Right? You see that in 9/11.
Yep. Yep.
Remember we talked about we did a whole show on why we don't believe the out of Africa theory.
Yeah.
And remember I was telling you we show artifacts that was older than anything that we found in Africa today.
Yeah.
Over here. Right? And we found bloodlines and DNA stock from over here that's older than Africa.
Yeah.
And so they keep trying to tie us back to Africa, but our roots keep digging deeper and deeper into the Americas.
Right.
You know, remember? Really, a matter of fact, you had called me and you were like, "Yeah, you got to explain this, and this is what it is."
Yeah, and like some way we put it together because we was thinking that hey, somebody had to ride that camel back over there 6 billion years ago. That's a long time ago, though. 6 billion years. Based on what the dates they giving us, they talking about 50,000 years over in Africa. These people have been around over here 60 billion years, riding camels.
Yeah.
So like something ain't right. Why would they? Well, like I got my own perspectives on what, but what would be the perspective on making us think that hey, we wasn't over here, we was in? I got my perspective. We probably already said this 10,000 times. But what's the purpose of switching us around?
If you don't know you from the land, you got no claim to the land.
Go ahead.
If they can disassociate you from the land, somebody else can come in and say, since they don't want it, you can give it to me.
Right.
Right. It's about the blood and the right. We got the blood and the right, which make us the righteous. Right. So in the whole, we gotta remember, we went over the father of history in European was a Greek. The father of history in the European narrative. And he's the point by which the story is being told, and he got his information from Kemet. Right? I think it was Aristotle, Socrates, one of them. One of them Greek philosophers are classified as the father of history. So the Eurocentric history is predicated upon the Afrocentric origin of Eurocentric history. When they started that narrative, they hadn't discovered over here yet. So from them tracing their knowledge base back, they trace it back to Africa. Therefore, everything had to come out of Africa. That's called deductive rationalization. But that's because the X or the unknown variable is the Americas at the time that the out of Africa philosophy was being developed by Greek philosophy. Mm-hmm. So there's no way they don't have no answer for the Americas because they don't trace their history or their knowledge source outside of Kemet. Right? When they all graduated from their universities on the island of Crete, they sent them to Kemet for priest training. So when they're tracing it back, that's Northeast Africa. So if that's Northeast Africa, then you got the Gaza Strip leads around the Mediterranean going into Turkey all the way up into Europe. And once you get there, you follow a migration pattern. When they burned the library down in Alexandria, they went underground tunnels to Gaza. Then they went underground tunnels into Europe in order to drop all of the manuscripts off in the Vatican, which becomes the Vatican Library. All that's been seized.
Man, I'm gonna do this tape. I got this tape coming out that I'm gonna do live. Where I got all these clips of the maps being switched around, where it show a lot of the names of the lands they saying that's over Middle East or other places that them land masses is over here before 1902.
Yeah. You know, a guy sent me a clip. Brother was going over an old map from like the 1300s, like the 1500s.
Yeah.
And it had, in South America, it had Africa.
Yeah, I saw a map with that on it too. I saw a map.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got a clip.
Yeah. So you think that before the continent they call Africa, there was Africa because there was Ethiopia on that map. So that was Ethiopia, and Africa was in modern day Brazil.
I also saw a map. Go ahead. I also saw a map. The same thing. Go ahead.
The region in modern day Brazil. So then, where did the African slaves really come from? See, Africa wasn't in Africa to the 1800s. So slavery was in the 1500s, and they bringing people from Africa, and the only place Africa on the map that predate the continent being called Africa, and it got Africa in Brazil. Where is they bringing us from? One part of our land to the other part of our land.
I got a map from 1902 that shows Africa being with Tennessee and but Memphis and all that's it. Like Memphis leading up to Cairo, it got Africa on the map right there in America in a map from 1902. Yeah, well, Cairo, Illinois, and Memphis. Yeah, I got a map that says 1902 Africa right there.
So the people that make maps are what's called cartographers.
Uh-huh.
And they used to share maps with each other. And this is how sailors and navigators knew where they was going.
Mm-hmm.
The cartographer was critical to the understanding of the terrain.
Okay. Let me run that next one then. We getting close to that time. Go ahead.
And I was talking about the financial things that actually took place back in July. Some of that stuff we reported on when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's a phase of the banking process that still got to be flipped, but they doing they got to do the rollout of the causation first, which would be the corruption that they pull out as arrest announced to the public. Who was arrested for what?
Right.
Once you get that out, then you can, a lot of bankers is involved in that. So when they expose the bankers, they'll say this is why we switching the currency, because the bankers have been counterfeiting and inflating the dollar artificially, because if you print money and you're not the United States Treasury, it's called counterfeit.
Right.
The law. So the Federal Reserve was printing currency as if they were the Treasury. Right? Because they was executing the lien by the Crown of England and the Vatican upon the American people for the Civil War. So they would start printing the money in order to pay back the debt on the 3-time bankrupt United States at the time. And it since went bankrupt like 3 other times. Every time you see where they said that there's no money, we can't make the budget, and then they had to shut the government down, that's a whole bankruptcy conclusion.
Right.
Right. So we watched all this stuff happen, and we still don't know what we was looking at while we was watching it. Because they keep distracting us with chaotic events. They release the information about the other event. It's all it is a sleight of hand.
Right.
Don't take your eye off the ball. Ooh, where'd the ball go? Right? So they using trickery, but they still giving disclosure at the same time. Like they didn't already announce, it's just a matter of time before they tell us that the Obamas is in custody. Hillary in custody. They all been dealt with since 2018, 2019. But they gotta tell it to us though. So now since they done used all this central casting nonsense, now they have to do the theatrical grand finale, the closing scene. It's the setup for the comeback on the other end of the movie.
Right. Right, to end them.
But the sequel is a sequel. How did we get here?
Right. Crazy. Roll that next one, and it's like a short one. So that'll be good. But yeah, she dropping it. She dropping it right there, bro.
Yeah, so that's why. Remember, I was telling everybody that they can bring in the other branches of the military under control of the National Guard. So she was just going over all of the stuff that we had been going over the last year and a half. Right? And they telling the same story, just condensed. Put another face on it, maybe they'll believe it.
Yeah, so all them judges wasn't they hadn't sworn to the Constitution. They weren't Article 3 judges. So all of them will come in fraud. All them judges come in fraud.
Yeah. Now you gotta remember bar members. The bar member, part of the bar member oath is that you take no other legal oath that supersedes your membership to the bar.
Right.
Loyalty to the king that traced back to the first charter where they told them to use the law to take everything from us.
Yeah.
And that's why it's those court bearer bonds that they use to put the lien on you is so valuable. And that's why they always want you in court. Right? You give me a fine, but you got to wait 60 days to get sentenced so you can pay the fine. Then you forget to show up in court because it's just a $200 fine, and then they put a warrant out for you, so you got to bond out all over again. Now they kept that bond and opened a new bond.
Yeah.
Right? So it's all playing the game. And they're playing the odds, playing the numbers.
Right.
Right? For every 10 people that you tell them what the fine is, but they got to wait 60 days to get sentenced, for every 10 of them, 4 of them gonna forget.
Uh-huh.
It's not important. You already settled out what it's gonna be. Right. But then when they get the warrant, it's a rude awakening. Then you gotta start all over, pay it all over again.
Right.
Because the bond you put up before been seized.
That's ransom.
Yeah, trickery in the first degree. So that video, I think, was like a year and something old, and it was giving us the layout for what the delay was with the new currency, which is also tied to several other things Dr. Kia talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you're looking for, what are the delays, you're seeing what the delays is. So you gotta remember, over 60% of your Congress don't have an oath of office.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that don't have an oath of office, you can go look up your local congressman and see if they got an oath of office on file. If they don't, they either central casting or they deep.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's crazy. Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, man. Hey, y'all know we want to keep Roy off the plantation. So the little bit of donations that we send them, it help them out to keep them from having to go deal with them. We want them watching these guys 24/7. So if you can show them some love, we got 2,800 people on, man. Everybody send them $5. That'll put them in the game, all the way in the game. If you really a cool cat, send them 100. If you can't do that, send them $1, man. That dollar go a long way. If 1,600 people send them $1, that'll put them in the game. Hey, y'all. You want to take like 2 or 3 questions before we get out of here, Rod?
Let's do that.
Huh?
Let's do that.
All right. Hey, y'all. Drop some questions in the chat. We'll take 2 or 3 questions before we get up out of here, y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It's all unfolding. It's all unfolding right now before your eyes. Somebody said, "What did he say? Central casting or what? What is?" Somebody asked, "What is central casting?"
Central Casting is the company that provides crisis actors.
Mm-hmm.
They also provide actors for political satire.
Mm-hmm.
They use the term satire because that's theater, and so when they put somebody up for political satire, they're playing a role as a politician.
Mm-hmm. Right here it says, just seeing, right.
So tonight, a little while ago, when I looked up and saw the moon just appear, oh no, you wasn't tripping. The moon can turn the lights off on it where you can't see it. They can go into full stealth mode, and then they're gonna tell you it's an eclipse.
So how do we divide without military? How do we take our land back?
It's happening in real time. They're gonna give it back. You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
The same way they use the cat's paw to take it, we can use the cat's paw to take it back. So the size of the moon, so the question is, so if the moon is a ship, how do they do moon magic? For the longest time, the women couldn't control the energy of the moon's effect on their body. Over time, because it affects them and because the size of the moon and the force that it puts upon the planet, it puts an energy connection from the earth to the moon. Once you learn the frequency is coming on, then you can harness the energy in order to perform your Heka magic, moon magic, lunar magic.
Mm-hmm. Shout out that boy Jedi for the super chat, man. Says, where do we? This is the last one right here, bro.
Where do we find, or how do we find our tribal courts? You can go on Google and type in tribal courts, and they got a whole bunch of tribal courts that's all over the link. Mm-hmm. They're not hard to find. They just that we don't utilize them. But right now, the smartest thing for us to do would be to unify our tribal courts to take the place of the current court system so they can arrest all of the judges. But we don't have that kind of unity yet where we would be effective enough in bringing them together. We don't have that unity, so we just got to wait till they take the old system down in order for us to wake up to activate our system correctly.
And for the person that asked about the Cash App, I got it on the screen for you. So the Cash App is Skype 8 right here, right? And if you can't get it on the Cash App, somebody asked about, you got Villa? I mean, what's that? Is it Villa? Vivo?
I have Cash App and PayPal. I just started with PayPal, so that was relatively new.
All right. Well, on that note, says the moon follows me everywhere and star planets. Why would that be? Who controls the moon? Does the moon follow me everywhere?
When you have the moon following you, it's just that your attention is locked onto the moon. The moon is not like actively following one individual. But the energy that you feel from it is reaching you wherever you in the proximity where you can see it. Mm-hmm. And it gives you the impression that the moon is following you. But it's not actually following you. It's that you locked on to the frequency of the moon as you move about to a high enough degree where you recognize that connection.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'll take this last question there, Roy. It says, like, so when we go on the court, if somebody going to court, and we know all these people fraud, continuing this
breaking up.
Continuing to send people through this fraud, you know.
Look, they're gonna continue to do it until they shut down.
They keep on chopping us up. Maybe that's how IQ. They chopped us up pretty good. When we on their behind, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like they should have knew it was inevitable. Like Agent Smith said, it's inevitable. This shit, what's happening now was inevitable. How long they think they was gonna keep this charade, this false narrative going, man? How long they think they had about 200 years to roll this thing, man? That's it. That's
6,000 year conclusion. So what this is all tied to at the root, England was given 2 sharks to collect as much gold as he could,
right,
in order to settle the conflict that he had with his brother Inky.
Right.
In the course of the 2 sharks, if he was to win Earth by conquest, by military conquest, and the only 2 ways you can win: surrender or total annihilation.
Right.
So they tried the total annihilation first. It didn't work. Because we baby kids, we don't die, we multiply.
Right.
So they tried to disassociate us from our birthright by telling us we from different places. Right?
Yeah.
And that way we would surrender our birthright. But because only one of us needed to be aware of their birthright and their blood ties to the land and their heritable authority to reclaim it and put it in the public domain. And right at the close of the second Shar, this is how the devil got 6,000 years to rule. The same as we took the settlers, the war in the war 1812, they gave them an extension. It's still aligned with the 2012 calendar of the cycle, where the second Shar would conclude, which was 2012. So now, in the aftermath, 13 years later, notice the number 13, we get the final cleanup in a 9 year. Right? So Big Mama's birthing the new age. 13, Queen Mother seals the queen of the mother of the king, not the queen. And she blessed the king, and the king comes through and cleans up the BX. Put the new world in order.
All right, bro. I think that's it. We're gonna go and get up out of here. Y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna be back to keep you updated. Right? It was one more somebody had dropped that was kind of like a good question though. I don't see it no more. Yeah. Hey y'all, we gonna be back. Hey, yeah, that's what it was. Hey Young, shout out Young. Hey Young, you Cha-Cha. Hey, if you want to trace your ancestry history, we got a playlist in the Native American Chief file called Tracing Your Ancestry History Part 1 through 6. If you watch those tapes, it's got all the last names and facial recognitions and tribe and the tribal maps, right? That can probably help you get like get a start going, because we connected a lot of dots in those Tracing Your Ancestry History tapes. But based on what I already researched, Young ties in with the Cha-Cha, especially if you're from Louisiana, Mississippi. If you're Young down from Louisiana, Mississippi area. If you're Young from Alabama, you could be the Creeks. And then you got some Youngs that's up north. They depends on what part you at, what part you from. Because some of the Youngs came from Mississippi. They were Cha-Cha. They moved because a lot of people migrated from Mississippi to Chicago, right? And then mixed in with the Shinnecock people that was already up there. So yeah, We're going to leave you on that. Hey, Rod, we'll be back with another one. Hey, y'all, like I say, if you want to show Rod some love, we left the Cash App on the screen. Everybody send him $1, man. That'll put him in the game till the next time we get back on. What else I want to say? You got any more announcements before we get out of here, Rod?
No, we covered a lot of ground and a lot of territory today.
Yeah, just 2 hours. We 2.5 hours in. All right, y'all. Peace and love. Free all the political prisoners. Free the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York. Free. We still working on Larry to get out. Trump already made the play. Still waiting on Illinois, right? Free H. Rap Brown. Free Jeff Fort. Chief Angel Malik Bay, right? The L. Rookin. Big Mama's baby's about to get ready to come home. All the chiefs about to get ready to walk. If you see what's going on now, you can feel that all the chiefs, because COINTELPRO operations was illegal. The stuff that they did to us was they in there by on illegal content.
My name on there, no introduction needed. You already introduced me.
I'm just saying.
Well, I'm important, but I ain't important enough to keep introducing me redundantly.
You're important every time I'm in the supermarket and I see an African brother, and I say to the African brother, we got our heads coming on. He said, "Oh, I'm on it. I'll be there. I'll be there tonight." They know you in Africa, okay? So anyway, we're gonna get started, and it's been information that I've been wanting to hear, and this is what the first question that I want to ask you. Okay, well, we got to start off with what we're talking about, and then that's your predictions, the things that you predict for 2025 and going forward with the new president and the fact that eggs, 1 dozen done went up now to $7. So what do you predict for us in 2025 for the original American people?
And that's the end of my predictions. I don't make predictions, but I can tell you what I see.
That's what I'm talking about. What's your revelations?
Well, the reason why I don't do predictions is people be trying to say he a false prophet if something don't align exactly how I say it. But so far, everything I've been saying is not that